The Thompson house in suburban Milwaukee glowed with Christmas warmth on that December 24th evening. Multicolored lights blinked rhythmically along the roof line while snow fell gently outside, creating the kind of postcard scene that made passers-by slow their cars to admire. Inside, Anna Thompson moved between the kitchen and dining room with practiced efficiency, her hands steady despite the nervous flutter in her chest. At 23, she'd spent 15 Christmases with this family, yet the feeling of being an outsider never quite left her. "Anna, honey, can you grab the cranberry sauce?" Aunt Margaret called from the living room, where she sat nursing her third glass of wine. "Of course," Anna replied, her voice bright with the cheerfulness she perfected over the years. The dining room table stretched long beneath a chandelier, set for 18 people, with the good china that only emerged twice a year. Anna ran her fingers along the edge of a plate, remembering how her adoptive mother, Patricia, had taught her the proper way to set a formal table when she was 9. Fork on the left, knife and spoon on the right. "Always remember, Anna, presentation matters in this family. There's my girl." Uncle Robert's booming voice filled the kitchen as he entered, already reaching for another beer. "You've outdone yourself with these appetizers." Anna smiled, accepting his side hug. "Mom did most of the work. I just helped." "Nonsense." Robert winked. "Patty told me you made the stuffed mushrooms from scratch. They're incredible." As Robert wandered back to watch football with the other men, Anna continued her preparations. The kitchen buzzed with activity, her adoptive mother Patricia orchestrating everything with military precision, cousin Jennifer complaining about her boyfriend's absence, and the younger kids racing through, sticky with candy cane residue. "Anna, check the turkey," Patricia commanded without looking up from her gravy preparation. Her tone was neutral, businesslike, the same tone she used with the catering staff at her charity events. Anna opened the oven, the blast of heat warming her face. The golden brown turkey glistened perfectly. "It's ready, Mom." Patricia finally glanced over, her expression unreadable. "Good. Start carving while I finish here." As Anna transferred the turkey to the carving board, she caught her reflection in the kitchen window. Her dark hair and olive complexion stood in stark contrast to the fair-skinned, blonde Thompson clan. The difference had always been obvious, but lately, it seemed to matter more. "Remember when Anna tried to cook her first turkey?" Jennifer laughed. Entering the kitchen, "What were we? 16. The smoke alarm went off for 20 minutes. "I remember." Anna chuckled, grateful for the friendly moment. "Grandpa said it was well blackened and ate it anyway. That's Dad for you," Patricia muttered, stirring the gravy with increased vigor. Through the kitchen doorway, Anna spotted Grandpa William in his usual armchair by the fireplace. At 84, he moved slowly but his mind remained sharp. He caught her eye and raised his coffee mug in a small salute. She smiled back, remembering the countless hours they'd spent together over the past year during his recovery from hip surgery. "Dinner's ready," Patricia announced, and the house erupted in movement as everyone converged on the dining room. Anna helped serve, moving seamlessly around the table, filling wine glasses and ensuring everyone had what they needed. She had learned long ago that staying busy meant fewer awkward conversations about why she looked different or questions about her real parents. "Anna, sit down already," Grandpa William called out. "You're making me tired just watching you." She took her usual seat, not at the main section with Patricia's immediate family, but toward the end, between Cousin Jennifer and Uncle Robert's wife. "It was fine. It was always fine. Let's say grace," Patricia announced, and hands joined around the table. Anna reached for Jennifer's hand on one side and Aunt Linda's on the other, closing her eyes as Uncle Michael led the prayer. "And we thank you for family, Lord, for the bonds that tie us together through thick and thin. Amen, amen," 18 voices echoed, as plates filled and conversation flowed. Anna allowed herself to relax slightly. Maybe this year would be different. Maybe the warmth of the season would finally bridge the gap she'd always felt. "So Anna," Aunt Margaret began, her words slightly slurred, "are you seeing anyone? A pretty girl like you must have boyfriends lining up." "Nah, at the moment," Anna replied evenly, passing the mashed potatoes. "Well, you know what they say. Margaret continued, oblivious to Patricia's sharp look. There's someone for everyone. She hiccuped. Even adopted kids find love eventually. The table quieted for a moment before Robert jumped in with a story about his latest business venture. Smoothly redirecting the conversation, Anna focused on her plate, her appetite suddenly gone. This was how it always went. Small reminders, subtle and not so subtle, that she was different, that she was lucky to be here, that she should be grateful. And she was grateful. How could she not be? The Thompsons had given her a home, an education, opportunities she never would have had otherwise. But gratitude and belonging were two different things. Anna made the stuffing this year, Grandpa William announced suddenly, from my mother's recipe. First time anyone's gotten it right since she passed. Patricia's fork paused midway to her mouth. I didn't know you gave her that recipe, Dad, she asked. William said simply. Spent a whole afternoon with me going over it. Even found the same brand of sage my mother used. He looked at Anna with unmistakable fondness. Tastes like 1955 all over again. Anna felt warmth bloom in her chest. You're the one who remembered all the details, Grandpa. Team effort, he winked. The conversation resumed, but Anna noticed Patricia watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. As the meal progressed, the mood lightened. Stories were shared, laughter rang out, and for brief moments, Anna almost felt like she belonged. Who wants pie? Patricia announced as dinner plates were cleared. I'll help, Anna began, already rising. No, Patricia's voice was firm. Jennifer can help me. You, just sit. Anna sank back into her chair, the rejection stinging more than it should have. Around her, the family continued chatting, oblivious to the undercurrent of tension. You okay, kiddo? Uncle Robert asked quietly. Fine, Anna smiled. Just full. But as she watched Patricia and Jennifer laughing together in the kitchen, matching aprons tied around their waists, Anna felt the familiar ache return. 15 years, and she was still the outsider looking in. The snow continued to fall beyond the windows, blanketing the world in pristine white. Inside, the Thompson family celebrated another Christmas, complete and whole, and Anna sat among them, alone. Chapter 2. Words That Shatter. The dessert parade began with Patricia's famous pumpkin pie, followed by Jennifer's chocolate tart and store-bought cookies for the kids. Anna watched the synchronized dance between mother and daughter, the easy way they anticipated each other's movements, the inside joke shared through glances. Coffee, Grandpa, Anna offered, already knowing he'd want decaf with 1 sugar. You're a mind reader. William smiled, patting her hand as she poured. The dining room had taken on that lazy, post-feast atmosphere. Uncle Michael loosened his belt discreetly, the teenage cousins scrolled through their phones, and the younger children grew restless, eager to return to their toys. Anna, sweetheart, Aunt Linda called from across the table. Patricia tells me you're working at that accounting firm downtown? Yes, Harris and Associates. I'm a junior analyst, Anna replied, grateful for the neutral topic. How wonderful. Following in Patricia's footsteps with a business sense, Linda beamed. Unaware of Patricia's tightening jaw, I taught myself, Patricia interjected coolly. Built my consulting firm from nothing. Of course, Linda backpedaled. I just meant, Anna's always been good with numbers, Grandpa William interrupted. Helped me sort out that mess with my investments last spring. Saved me thousands. That was nothing, Anna deflected. Just needed fresh eyes on the paperwork. Humble, too. Robert laughed. My kids could learn from you. Speaking of which, Tyler, tell everyone about your semester. As Robert's son launched into a story about college life, Anna began collecting empty dessert plates. It was easier to stay busy, to have a purpose that didn't require navigation of complex family dynamics. In the kitchen, she found a moment of peace. The dishwasher hummed, warm water ran over her hands, and the muffled conversation from the dining room felt distant. Through the window, she watched snow accumulate on the garden Patricia meticulously maintained, now dormant under winter's blanket. I don't need help. Patricia's voice cut through her reverie. Anna turned to find her adoptive mother standing in the doorway, arms crossed. I'm almost done with these. I said I don't need help. Patricia moved closer, her voice low. Jennifer and I have a system. I was just trying to. You're always just trying to help, aren't you? Patricia's tone sharpened. Always trying to prove you belong. Anna's hands stilled in the soapy water. I live here. This is my family too. Patricia laughed, but there was no warmth in it. Is it? You think sharing a roof makes you family? Mom, please. It's Christmas. Don't call me that. Patricia stepped closer, her perfume mixing with the scent of cinnamon and cloves. You want to know the truth. You've always wanted to know why I keep you at arm's length. Anna couldn't speak, couldn't move. 15 years of questions bubbled just beneath the surface. Patricia leaned in, her whisper sharp as winter wind. You'll never be family. You're just adopted. The words hit Anna like physical blows. The plate in her hands slipped, shattering against the porcelain sink. The sound seemed enormous in the sudden silence. Clean that up, Patricia said calmly, as if she hadn't just destroyed something more fragile than china. And stop trying so hard. It's embarrassing. Anna stared at the broken pieces in the sink, her vision blurring. Her hands shook as she reached for the shards, not caring when one nicked her finger, drawing blood that mixed with the dishwater. Anna, everything okay in there? Jennifer's voice called from the dining room. Fine, Patricia answered for her. Just a little accident. We'll be right out. Patricia straightened her blazer and moved toward the door, pausing to deliver one final blow. Your birth mother didn't want you. What makes you think I would? Then she was gone, leaving Anna alone with the broken dishes and shattered illusions. Anna gripped the edge of the sink, forcing herself to breathe. One breath, two. The blood from her finger dripped steadily, but she couldn't seem to move. 15 years of trying, of hoping, of believing that someday she'd earn her place, gone in a whisper. She mechanically cleaned up the broken plate, wrapped her finger in a paper towel, and tried to compose herself. The family was waiting. The show must go on. When she returned to the dining room, Patricia was regaling everyone with a story about a difficult client, gesturing animatedly with her wine glass. No one would guess she just eviscerated her adopted daughter in the kitchen. There she is. Uncle Michael smiled. We were just about to send a search party. Anna forced her lips into a smile. Just finishing up, she moved to sit, but her usual chair was occupied by one of the younger cousins. The only empty seat was at the far end of the table, isolated from the main conversation. She took it without comment. You're bleeding, Grandpa William observed, his sharp eyes catching the red seeping through the paper towel. It's nothing, just a nick from a broken plate. Jennifer, get the first aid kit, William instructed. Oh, I'm sure Anna can manage, Patricia interjected smoothly. She's very self-sufficient. The words sounded like praise, but felt like exile. Jennifer hesitated, looking between her mother and grandfather. The first aid kit, Jennifer, William repeated, his tone brooking no argument. As Jennifer scurried off, Anna caught Patricia's cold stare across the table. The message was clear. You may live in this house, but you'll never be one of us. So, Anna, Aunt Margaret slurred, oblivious to the tension, you must be grateful for all this. She gestured broadly at the elegant room, the abundance of food, the family gathered around the table. I mean, where would you be without the Thompsons? Margaret, Robert warned. What? I'm just saying she's lucky. Not everyone gets a second chance at family. Second chance. As if her first 8 years of life were something to be erased, forgotten, deemed unworthy. Here, Jennifer returned with the first aid kit, her movements quick and nervous. Anna accepted it with quiet thanks, tending to her finger while conversation resumed around her. But she felt disconnected from it all, as if watching the scene through glass. The younger children grew increasingly restless, and finally, Patricia announced it was time to move to the living room for the gift exchange. Everyone rose, chairs scraping, voices excited. Anna remained seated, staring at the bandage on her finger. You coming, kiddo? Uncle Robert asked. In a minute? Just need to ... She gestured vaguely. He nodded, ushering his family toward the living room. Soon, Anna was alone in the dining room with its remnants of forced celebration. The candles had burned low, wax pulling on the silver holders. The centerpiece of poinsettias seemed garish now, too bright for the darkness settling in her chest. From the living room came sounds of wrapping paper tearing, delighted exclamations, laughter, the sounds of family. Anna stood slowly, began gathering water glasses to have something to do with her hands. She couldn't face them yet. Couldn't pretend everything was fine when Patricia's words echoed in her mind. You're just adopted. Just adopted. As if that made her less than. As if love could be measured by DNA. She moved toward the kitchen, arms full of glasses, when a firm voice stopped her. Put those down. Anna turned to find Grandpa William in the doorway, leaning heavily on his cane, but his eyes fierce with determination. Grandpa, put them down, Anna. We need to talk. Chapter 3. The Truth Unveiled. Sit, Grandpa William commanded, gesturing to the dining room chair with his cane. Anna set down the glasses carefully, her hands trembling. Everyone's waiting for you in the living room. Let them wait. He lowered himself into the chair beside her with a soft grunt. I may be old, but I'm not deaf, and I'm certainly not blind. Anna's throat tightened. Grandpa, I heard what she said to you in that kitchen. His weathered hands gripped the cane handle, knuckles white. Every poisonous word. The tears Anna had been holding back finally spilled over. It's fine. I'm used to it. No. William's voice cracked like a whip. It's not fine, and you shouldn't be used to it. From the living room, Patricia's laughter rang out, bright and false. William's jaw tightened at the sound. Do you know why I really gave you my mother's stuffing recipe? He asked quietly. Anna wiped her cheeks. Because I asked. Because you're the only one who ever did. He reached over, covering her bandaged hand with his own. 40 years I've been waiting for someone in this family to care about where we came from, about the stories that matter. Patricia never asked. Jennifer couldn't be bothered. But you sat with me for hours, writing down every ingredient, every memory attached to that recipe. I wanted to get it right. You wanted to connect. His eyes, roomy but sharp, held hers. That's what family does, Anna. They connect. They show up. They care. But I'm not a family. William laughed bitterly. Let me tell you about family. When Patricia's mother died, I was lost. Couldn't even remember to eat, let alone take care of myself. Patricia hired a nurse, visited once a week for exactly 1 hour, like clockwork, like an obligation. He squeezed Anna's hand tighter. But you, when I broke my hip last year, you took time off work, moved into the guest room, read to me when I couldn't sleep, watched those terrible game shows I love without complaining, made sure I took my medications, helped me learn to walk again. Anyone would have her know. He interrupted firmly. They wouldn't. They didn't. Patricia sent flowers. Jennifer texted. But you showed up. Every single day. More laughter erupted from the living room, followed by the sound of children squealing over presents. The contrast made the dining room feel like a sanctuary, separate from the performance beyond. I need to tell you something, William continued, his voice dropping. Something I've been planning for months. Anna waited, watching as he reached into his suit jacket pocket with deliberate care. I've been meeting with my lawyer. Quietly, Patricia doesn't know. He pulled out a white envelope, his hands shaking slightly. I'm 84 years old. Anna, I've built a good life, accumulated more than I need, and I've spent the last year watching my family very carefully. Grandpa, you don't need to. I watched Patricia treat you like hired help, watched her take credit for your accomplishments while dismissing your struggles. Watch her children, my grandchildren, learn by example that you're somehow less than them. His voice grew stronger, angry, and I watched you respond with nothing but grace, kindness, love that wasn't earned or deserved, but given freely. He placed the envelope on the table between them. This is my will, updated last week. Anna stared at the envelope, unable to process what was happening. The house in Michigan, the investment portfolio, the family business shares. He tapped the envelope. It's yours, all of it. What? The word came out as a whisper. Patricia will get her mother's jewelry and a trust fund for the grandchildren's education. The others will receive meaningful but modest inheritances. But the bulk of it, everything that matters, goes to you, Grandpa. No, I can't. You can and you will. His voice brooked no argument. Because you're the only one who understands what family really means. The only one who's earned it. Patricia will learn a hard lesson about consequences. William's expression darkened. She thinks blood makes family. She's wrong. Love does. Loyalty does. Showing up when it matters does. Footsteps approached from the living room. William quickly pocketed the envelope as Jennifer appeared in the doorway. There you are. Mom's wondering where you went, Grandpa. We're about to do the family photo. Tell your mother to wait, William said curtly. Jennifer's eyes darted between them, taking in Anna's tear-stained face. Is everything okay? Everything's changing, William said cryptically. Go on. We'll be there in a moment. Jennifer retreated, clearly confused. William waited until her footsteps faded before standing, using his cane for support. Help me up, dear one. Anna rose quickly, offering her arm. He patted it gently as they stood together. I'm going to say something in there, he warned. Patricia won't like it. None of them will. But it needs to be said. Grandpa, please, don't make things worse for yourself because of me. He turned to face her fully, his expression fierce. You still don't understand, do you? You're not the one who should be worried about making things worse. You're not the one who should be ashamed. They walked slowly toward the living room, William leaning on both his cane and Anna's steady arm. The Christmas tree lights blurred through Anna's tears, creating halos of color in the dimness. When I speak, William whispered as they reached the doorway. Don't interrupt. Don't apologize. Just listen. And remember, you are my granddaughter. In every way that matters. The living room fell silent as they entered. Patricia stood near the tree, her face a mask of polite impatience. The others were arranged on sofas and chairs, presents scattered across the floor, a photographer's tripod already set up for the annual family portrait. Finally, Patricia said coolly, we were beginning to think you'd gotten lost. Sit down, Patricia, William commanded. Dad, we're about to. Sit down. The authority in his voice made everyone freeze. Patricia's mouth opened, then closed. She perched on the edge of the sofa, her spine rigid. William moved to the center of the room, surveying his family with disappointment etched in every line of his face. I have something to say, he began. About family, about who belongs and who doesn't. About the poison that's been allowed to fester in this house for far too long. Patricia's face paled. Dad, this isn't the time. This is exactly the time, he thundered, striking his cane against the floor. Christmas, when we pretend to celebrate love and family and togetherness. While some of us whisper cruelties in kitchens and pretend they're truths, the room was utterly still. Even the children sensed the gravity of the moment, pressing closer to their parents. 15 years ago, we brought Anna into this family. A scared 8-year-old who'd lost everything. We promised her a home, love, belonging. His gaze found Patricia. Some of us lied. Dad. Patricia stood abruptly. How dare you? How dare I? William's voice rose. How dare you tell that child she never be family? How dare you make her feel less than human because she doesn't share your blood? Gasps rippled through the room. Jennifer covered her mouth. Robert set down his beer with shaking hands. You don't understand, Patricia started. I understand perfectly. You're a small, petty woman who's threatened by genuine goodness. Who can't stand that someone you consider beneath you shows more grace, more kindness, more true family values than you ever have. He turned to address the room at large. Do you want to know what family looks like? It looks like Anna reading to me for hours when my eyes were too weak after surgery. It looks like her learning my mother's recipes because she wanted to preserve our history. It looks like her taking unpaid leave from work to care for me when none of you could be bothered. We visited. Jennifer protested weakly. You performed, William corrected. Quick visits, obligatory calls. Going through the motions of concern while watching the clock, he moved toward Anna, who stood frozen by the doorway. This woman, he said, pointing with his cane, has shown me more love in 1 year than most of you have in a lifetime. She's earned her place in this family 1,000 times over. And if any of you can't see that, if you can't treat her with the respect and love she deserves, then you're the ones who don't belong here. Patricia's face had progressed from pale to mottled red. You're choosing her over your own daughter. I'm choosing love over blood, William said simply. Just like you chose cruelty over kindness. He reached into his pocket, pulling out the envelope. This is my new will. Anna is my primary beneficiary. Not because she's earned it through service or suffering, but because she's the only one who understands what I'm leaving behind isn't money or property. It's legacy. It's values. It's the true meaning of family. The explosion was immediate. Patricia shrieked. Jennifer gasped. Robert tried to play peacemaker. Voices rose. Accusations flew. And the carefully maintained facade of the perfect Thompson family Christmas shattered like the plate in the kitchen sink. Through it all, Anna stood silent, tears streaming down her face as Grandpa William made his way back to her side. "Merry Christmas, my dear one," he said quietly, taking her hand. "Welcome to the family. The real one." Chapter 4. A new foundation. The living room erupted into chaos. Patricia's voice rose above the rest, shrill and desperate. "You can't do this. I'm your daughter." "Your actual daughter?" "Yes," William replied calmly, unmoved by the storm he'd created. "And you've spent 40 years reminding me of that fact while showing me nothing of what it means. This is insane," Jennifer interjected, looking between her mother and grandfather. "Anna, surely you're not going to accept this." Anna finally found her voice, though it came out barely above a whisper. "I never asked for anything. I never expected." "Of course you didn't," Patricia spat. "That was your game all along, wasn't it? Playing the perfect, grateful orphan, manipulating an old man. Enough." William's cane struck the floor with such force that a picture frame rattled on the mantel. "You want to talk about manipulation? Let's discuss the nursing home brochures I found in your desk drawer last month. The ones you thought I didn't see." Patricia's mouth snapped shut. "Or should we talk about the papers you tried to get me to sign during my medication fog? The ones that would have given you power of attorney?" "Dad, I was trying to help. You were trying to control." His voice was steady, devastating. "But Anna, she helped me hide my medication when the pain wasn't bad because she knew I hated how fuzzy they made me feel. She never once asked about my finances, even when I offered to help with her student loans." Uncle Robert cleared his throat. "Maybe we should all calm down. It's Christmas." "Yes, it's Christmas," William agreed. "The season of truth and revelation. So here's more truth. I'm not dying. I'm not senile. I'm perfectly capable of making my own decisions. And I've decided that love matters more than blood." He turned to address the younger generation, the cousins and children watching with wide eyes. "Let this be a lesson to all of you. Family isn't about what you're entitled to. It's about what you contribute. It's about showing up when it's inconvenient. It's about loving without conditions." "You're making a mistake," Patricia said, her voice now cold and controlled. "When you're gone, she take everything and disappear. We're your real family. We'll be the ones at your funeral, planning what to do with the inheritance." William finished. "Yes, I'm sure you will be. But Anna will be the one who actually mourns me." Little Tyler, Robert's youngest, tugged at his father's sleeve. "Daddy, why is everyone yelling?" Robert squeezed his son's shoulder. "Sometimes families disagree, buddy. But Anna is family, right?" the boy asked innocently. "She always plays with us and makes the best cookies out of the mouths of babes," William murmured. Anna felt the weight of every eye in the room. Some hostile, some confused, some, like young Tyler's, simply curious. She took a deep breath, drawing strength from William's steady presence beside her. "I don't want this to tear the family apart," she said finally. "Grandpa, maybe we should discuss this privately." "No," William interrupted. "No more private cruelties. No more hidden agendas. Everything in the open now." "Fine," Patricia stood, smoothing her skirt with shaking hands. "If you want to leave your fortune to a stranger, that's your choice. But don't expect me to stand here and celebrate it." She moved toward the door, then paused, turning back to Anna with venom in her eyes. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family." "No, Patricia," William said softly. "You did that." One whispered cruelty at a time, Patricia left, her heels clicking sharply against the hardwood. After a moment, Jennifer followed her mother, mumbling something about checking on her. The remaining family members sat in uncomfortable silence. Aunt Margaret had sobered considerably, while Uncle Michael studied his hands. Robert was the first to speak. "Anna," he said carefully, "you know this doesn't change how I feel about you, right? You've always been family to me, just not family enough to stand up for her earlier," William observed dryly. Robert flushed. That's not fair, Dad, isn't it? How many times have you all sat silent while Patricia made her little comments? How many family gatherings where Anna was relegated to the edges, and none of you said a word? We didn't realize, Aunt Linda began. You didn't want to realize. It was easier to maintain the status quo, to let Anna absorb Patricia's coldness so the rest of you could enjoy your comfort. Anna placed a gentle hand on William's arm. Grandpa, please, they're not responsible for Patricia's actions. No, but they're responsible for their silence. He covered her hand with his. Though I suppose that's a lesson for another day. Slowly, the room began to empty. Some family members offered Anna awkward hugs or mumbled support. Others simply gathered their children and gifts, eager to escape the discomfort. Within 20 minutes, only Anna, William, and surprisingly, Uncle Robert remained. I owe you an apology, Robert said quietly. You're right, Dad. I saw how Patricia treated Anna. We all did. And we chose to look away because it was easier. What changed? William asked. Robert glanced at the doorway where his son had disappeared. Tyler loves Anna. My kids adore her. She's been more of an aunt to them than Jennifer ever has. And I let my sister make her feel like an outsider. He turned to Anna. I'm sorry. Truly. Anna felt fresh tears spring to her eyes. Thank you, Robert. That means more than you know. Robert stood.